Hello everybody, welcome to the April 2020 Gaming PC Builds of the Month. It's a strange month in terms of gaming PC hardware and procuring that hardware and putting builds together, because apparently everyone going under quarantine because of this COVID stuff, etc., seem to want to be building their own gaming PCs for something to do. So some hardware has been a little harder to come by than usual. This has also affected some prices, but mainly supply levels for certain hardware. So as we go through these builds this month, I want you to keep that in mind. These builds have been put together with that in mind. But just so you know, if you do find that some of the hardware isn't available on, say, Amazon, which a lot of the prices on this article in particular are taken from, then you could try used hardware on Amazon, which they do price it out quite well on each of the hardware product pages, but you can try other sites like Newb or other sites like that in order to source your hardware, or even better yet, you can look locally on your Facebook marketplaces or Kijijis and stuff like that to find used hardware if you really need a PC bad right away. But other than that, all the hardware at the beginning of the month should be available at the prices quoted, but if not, do keep that in mind. All right, we have the gaming PC builds of the month again. The $1,500, $1,000, and $700 and $500. 4 different gaming PC builds that should cover many different kinds of gamers, anywhere from the low-end budget builds that will play any game out there, but you might have to scale settings down, all the way up to the highest-end build, which will play games really high settings, maxed out at 2K resolutions, and play really well into 4K. All right, let's get started with the one at the top, the $1,500 gaming PC build for April. This build, like I said, top of the line one here. This one's put together to max games out at 1440p and play good into 4K resolution. So keep that in mind with regards to what monitor you might end up using, or what games you might be playing and at what settings you want to play them at. CPU we have for this one is the Ryzen 7 3700X. This is at $339.99 right now. It comes with a stock cooler. I think it's more than enough, unless you really want to overclock this bad boy. In that case, you could get a different cooler. Motherboard, Asus Tough Gaming X570 Plus. This is the Wi-Fi version, kind of the souped up motherboard. $184.95. Comes with probably more features than most gamers need, but it is a premium board for motherboard for this build. The graphics card powering this build is the RTX 2070. This one's the Zotac RTX 2070 Super, twin fan 8GB version. This one comes in at $499.99, and it's a fantastic graphics card. The memory we have for this is a total of 16 gigabytes of Crucial Ballistic Sport LT. This is a 3200 megahertz bandwidth memory at $74.95. The storage we have the Samsung 970 Evo Plus. This is an M2 NVMe drive, so super fast SSD, 18841. You might notice in drives in particular this month, some are out of stock, depending on the ones. Like, for example, the one that we had last month was the Western Digital Black. They're all out of stock right now, or you can go with a Crucial P1 is another example, also out of stock. This is a good storage device, but a little more expensive than you might need to spend, so do keep a lookout for other ones out there. Power supply, we have the EVGA Supernova 750 watt P2. This is a platinum rated power supply, so highly efficient, fully modular at $129.94. And the case for this one is, I'm a fan of this case because it's for the cost, it's a really good case. Coolermaster Masterbox Pro 5 RGB ATX mid tower. And it comes with 3 RGB 120mm fans right on the front there, as you can see here, and then you can turn them into whatever colors you want, which is great. So it comes with a built-in, kind of a pre-built cooling solution, which is really cool. This comes in at $84.99, and this build should set you back $1,503 right now at the beginning of April 2020. Moving on to the next build, the $1,000 gaming PC build for April 2020. Wow, didn't really price that out, right? This build, before we get started, is for those that do want to play at high FPS at, say, 1080p with games maxed out, or higher settings at 2K resolutions. Most games can be maxed out with this build, even at those resolutions. So this build is the CPU, AMD Ryzen 5 3600X. I really like this CPU because it's a really good overall CPU. Not even does more than just gaming, but it also comes with a cooler. Just the price that you see here, it's $225 $2,225.99, not $2,225.99, so that's a mistype, so ignore that. All right, continuing on. The motherboard we had was the MSI Be Tomahawk Max. This comes straight right out of the box, compatible with the 3600X, not a problem. And it's at $114.99 right now. Like I said before, some hardware might be a little limited on availability, so I did see it for $95 used on Amazon, which is a great price for this motherboard. So do consider that if that's a possibility for you. Graphics card we bumped this one up on the $1,000 build this month. We have the RX 5700 XT, which is the older brother to the 5700 non-XT, included this month. But if you do find this one's a little more expensive, you could still go with the 5700 and save a few bucks. This is $369.99. Memory we have is the Crucial Ballistic Sport LT 16GB kit, $74.95. Then the SSD we have here is a Western Digital Blue 500GB NVMe drive. This one's a fairly good NVMe drive, offering read-write speeds of 2400 megabytes per second. Read speeds. And then this comes in at $79.74 and is the 500GB version. The power supply we have here is the EVGA 650GQ gold version. A gold efficiency power supply, semi-modular, $82.12. And then the PC case we have here is a slight variation of the one we had last month, but it's the Fantex Eclipse P400. You see here it comes in different colors. This is the one with the green lighting that you see here. It's RGB, so you can change that up. But this is, I think I had the white one featured last month, but this is the black one. And that's $79.99 at $1,007. The $700 gaming PC build for April 2020. This build is for you if you want to max games out at 1080p, standard kind of HD resolutions, without a problem. Then this build is for you. CPU we have here is the Ryzen 5 3600 CPU, $172.99, comes with the Wraith Stealth cooler. Motherboard, the ASRock B450 Steel Legend motherboard. This one comes in at $83.59. Really all you need for this one, this build. You could also go with the Tomahawk Max B450 that you saw above for not much more if it's available, if that's an option for you. But otherwise this will do, and this one will save you a few more bucks over top of that one. Graphics card, Asus GeForce GTX 1660 Super. This is a really great graphics card for this build, but if it's available, I would try to go for the RX 5600 XT, but it's been hard to get your hands on, and the price might not be where it's supposed to be at anyways. So, but I would then, if that's not the case, I would go with the GTX 1660 Super overclocked, $239.99. Memory we have is an 8GB kit of memory. That's two 4GB sticks of HyperX Fury at $42.23. And then the SSD we have, we switched it up this month for the availability reasons to this ADATA SU635 480GB SSD, just a SATA SSD for $55.99. And the power supply we have is a 500 watt Thermaltake Smart power supply for $52.99. And then the case you see here is the Fantex Eclipse P300 PC case at $59.99, and that comes out to $706. And then finally, this is the budget build, the entry gaming PC build here, the $500 gaming PC build of the month for April 2020. Again, this is that console killer sort of build. You're just getting into gaming PC building, or you're trying to build a new build and you don't want to get a console and play games at higher frame rates than a console and have all of the amazing attributes that building your own gaming PC build has. This is the build for you. Kind of that standard 1080p build, medium to high setting games at 60 frames per second, not a problem. CPU we have is the AMD Ryzen 5 2600. Again, comes with a Wraith Stealth cooler, $138.95. The motherboard is a Micro ATX board. This is the MSI Pro Series. Micro ATX board, so it's a smaller form factor board. $60.06. The graphics card we have is the XFX RX 570 for $108. And then the memory we have is a HyperX Fury 8GB stick. And then the storage, ADATA 480GB SATA SSD, $55.99. Power supply, Thermaltake Smart 500 watt for $52.07. And then the case we have is the small form factor Micro ATX Thermaltake Versa H17 for $51.99. I love this case. It's kind of small, minimalistic. fits everything nicely, and it's able to be that way because we are using a small form factor motherboard. That does it for all the builds this month. Like I said, weird things going on in the market right now in terms of PC hardware. There are still supply levels of all the things that you saw here. If not, do look for used hardware or look at other sites to potentially purchase them. But I'm sure you'll get there, or look at alternative pieces of hardware. So for example, this ADATA SSD, look for a Western Digital if it's around, or memory, or other branded graphics cards, so other RX 570s. But I've done the best we can do right now in terms of what we can find, and all of this is solid hardware. All right, until next month, best of luck building.